When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Kroger worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Drink it in, drink it in, drink it in, man.
It is picked up by the line, coming back right side, 25. Picks up a block at the 30, to the 40.
Drink it in, drink it in. Drink it in, drink it in, drink it in, man.
Rolls to the right, Stafford throws deep, got a man out there, Enzo, caught, touchdown, Detroit Lions, Marvin Jones.
Drink it in, drink it in.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions! Cornbread.
Drink it in, drink it in, drink it in, man.
Detroit Koolaid drinkers, what is going on? It is Wednesday. I'm your host, Derek Oakrey. We are here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast talking all things Lions. And you know who's on the other end of the line, the star of the show, the man at Grifka DKC on Twitter. Grifka, hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, hey, buddy.
Oh, hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
Oh, man, you know how I'm doing. I'm doing good. Doing good. It's nice to be back talking to you with the Lions.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. We went through this whole off season, and now the players have actually returned to the facility. We're taking some tests. We're doing nothing but working out until mid-August, but it's something. So we're here talking. And Grifka, I want to talk about, so I know we just talk football and me and you rant and rave and try to make the people laugh, but I got a little product placement, a little something for the people off the top. So you know this is the Detroit Koolaid Cast, where we tell the people to do this.
Drink it in, man.
Right?
Yeah.
You know that at the tailgate, we've been known to fill up an extra tall glass of that Detroit Kool-Aid, that Honolulu blue flavor. You know this, right?
Yeah, we've actually handed it out to passing fans as well.
Of course we have. We are always spreading that Detroit Kool-Aid, just like we do twice a week right here on the podcast. But I got a little something for the people, Grifka. You've mentioned it. I barely mentioned it on the show. I changed the eating habits. I'm doing some different things. So I want to tell the people I have found 2 incredible substitutes for the Detroit Kool-Aid. If you're not a Kool-Aid drinker, we know some of you out there are drinking non-Kool-Aid things when you're either listening to the show or at a Lions game or whatever. But Grifka, have you ever heard of Mio?
Yeah, I think I've seen it in the store.
The Mio and the Mio Sport. I found 2 perfect Detroit Kool-Aid flavors for the people. I just got it this week. It's a little spray bottle. You just get a good glass of water, nice and healthy for you. Spray it in. And I'm telling you, this is Honolulu blue or Detroit Lions home blue colors on both of these. So the people can get the blueberry lemonade. Looks great with a Lions jersey or out at the game. You can mix it with something if you want to do that, but we just ask you to do this.
Drink it in, man.
And then Grifka, right before we got going, I tried the Mio Sport. This is the Berry Blast, and it's incredible. So they're not sponsoring the show this week. We wouldn't mind it. I'd kind of like it if they did. You know, we could use a little extra, for the show. But I just thought I'd break that out. If people want to be healthy but also drink that Detroit Kool-Aid flavored, go hit up the 2 Mios I just gave you and pour that Honolulu blue in your glass, and away you go. So there we go. We're off and running here on the show.
Yeah, I'll have to try it. I'm almost positive I know where it's sitting at. So now that you mentioned it, I'll grab some because I do have some bottled water at my house.
Grifka, when you drink this, you're going to do this.
Woo!
Let's go ahead and get to football, man. We could talk about this all day, but that's not what we do here on the show. Grifka, we got lots to talk about. We're going to do some fun things off the top here, and then I got a special segment after the break called Dis or Dat. So the people got to stay for that and see what you're going to pick. Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? And that should be fun. But Grifka, the opt-outs, man. They got this opt-out clause where players can just decide to not play for $150,000, or if they have high risk scenario, they get $350K. And I think the NFL thought nobody was going to take this, because why would you give up millions for most of these guys when you're going to get what a lawyer makes or whatever? People are opting out left or right. Like, what are you thinking about this?
I'm slightly surprised by it. I saw what the Patriots are now up to. Was it 6 players, I believe, and I was watching something, and they're players that are at the 30 year old, 30 years of age and above. So it might be one of those things that they're kind of thinking about, especially with their future. So I'm kind of surprised. I know there's a couple other ones. Was it the Marquise Goodwin? I think they said he just had had a child, so he's worried, thinking about that. So I mean, people have reasons for it, and if some of these guys, they seem like they've been around a few years. They got nice, healthy contracts, so maybe that's what they think they've banked enough at this point. But there's still plenty of guys out there that need the cash, so they may want to opt out, but I think they want the contract money that they're going to get. So I am surprised about it, and I feel that there will be more opting out coming up, but it's not going to. I think it's not going to gut the league.
Like, the crazy part for me is Hightower for the Patriots opted out. The guy was going to make $8 million this year. He only has a couple more years to actually make dough in the NFL, so that was really surprising. And yeah, I don't think it's going to just be something that the majority or it gets out of hand, but it is kind of surprising here off the top. And I don't know. I mean, I guess the thinking is they just don't want to deal with all the headaches or think that, take care of the family, obviously first and foremost, but definitely has been surprising off the top. So, Grifka, I have what you normally do, which again is going to be one of these. I got a quick follow-up for you, and that's this. Grifka, if you could have one player on the Detroit Lions opt out of these options, what would you select? And you get to select between your favorite left tackle, which is Taylor Decker. I know that you just adore this guy in the middle of our defense and think he's an absolute beast. His name is Jared Davis. Or my personal favorite and favorite of the people, the outlaw, Jesse James, the piece of garbage that I don't even know why he's on the roster making $7 million a year. This guy has let us down in every sense of the word. Who are you saying, hey, buddy, how about you just opt out for me? How about you do that?
I think I would probably go with Jared Davis. Simply, I think he's the easiest to replace. Like Jesse James don't play anyways, and Decker, I don't think right now on the roster there's somebody who could take his place. I mean, I know I thought you'd probably say Decker off the bat, but Jared Davis, I mean, maybe he doesn't want to tackle anybody because he's afraid of catching something.
So basically you're telling the outlaw, Jesse James, that you would do this.
For me to poop on.
He's your opt-out. He's gone. I mean, I don't know. You pick Jared Davis. I would tell the outlaw to go find another place to be sheriff, because I've had enough of this guy. We all know that on the show. But yeah, it just proves the fact that you love Taylor Decker. So that was a good exercise. Grifka,
go that far.
the third part here that I want to talk about off the top is the Jamal Adams trade. I mean, this came out of nowhere end of last week. I mean, again, we record our shows end of the week, and then very end of the week we get all this stuff about the players have agreed, football's going to happen, training camp's going to be on time, and then oh by the way, news comes out, oh hey, Jamal Adams is traded to the Seahawks, and I'm pretty sure you saw the details, but it was Jamal Adams to the Seahawks and a 4th rounder for 2 1s, a 3, and a fine starting safety back to the Jets. Like, I'm not a Jets fan by any means, but I think this resets their whole franchise. I think it was a tremendous move. I don't know how they got what they got. It's unbelievable to me. And what the Seahawks are even thinking or doing. I mean, Jamal Adams is a great player. I love his attitude, but this makes no sense to me on so many levels. So I thought I'd ask you, because I figured, like, you're going to have some ridiculous take or say you're not quite for sure. I can't wait to hear it. What do you think about this?
From the Seattle point of view, I think this is a great trade. Why not, man? You're going for it right now. They got to compete with San Francisco. You're getting one of the best safeties in the game, the guy that you call the dog. You love this guy. You gave this guy dog status after his rookie year. How could you not? I mean, forget it. Who cares about some low number 1 picks at Seattle? Seattle ain't picking in the top 10. So who cares? So I mean, you go make this trade. I mean, you're out there in that division competing with, the Giants. Arizona's getting a little better. So yeah, I mean, that's the Rams are out there. That's a great trade for Seattle. Kudos to you, Pete Carroll. And that team out there making this trade. Way to go for the gusto. Something Detroit never does.
Grifka, you know what you do to me a lot on this show?
Oh, what's that? That drives me freaking bonkers.
you do that, and I think your last take, I mean, it proves that you're absolutely this.
You're crazy.
I mean, your thoughts right there were this.
It's garbage. It's garbage. It's garbage.
Grifka, like 2 first-round picks and a 3rd-round pick and a guy to replace Jamal Adams. Yes, Jamal Adams has dog status. But he's not giving away 2 first-rounders. And then, did I mention? Yeah, not this second, but eventually they're going to have to pay this man some ridiculous amount of money to even keep him on the team. So, like, this makes no sense, and this is why Bob Quinn, bring it back to our Lions, is so smart, because there's been times, again, I advocated on this show to maybe go get Khalil Mack. That has bit the Chicago Bears in the ass. Now, you've got this move where I had to hear the last couple days, Daniel Jeremiah, who's one of my guys, I love his takes, he's over there, I think I can see it's a great move for both sides. Really? Because last time I checked, Jamal Adams is basically a box safety, a guy that, he gets you some sacks and some plays here or there, and yes, he's a dog, but he's not even worth anything close to this, and he wasn't going to play for the Jets anyway. So how do you get the ultimate prize for a guy that everybody knew he wasn't happy, he wasn't going to come there? It makes no sense on so many levels, and the fact that you think it's a good trade and that you're backing this is just unbelievable to me, and not unbelievable at all because of what you said on the show before. You just win at any cost, go all in, all this stuff. Like, I don't get it. It's just a horrible move. John Schneider too is a good GM. I like a lot of the things he does. This I hate, because you know what Pete Carroll said, Grifka? You want to hear this?
Yeah, I'm interested in Pete Carroll. I think he's a great coach, so what he says I like.
Yeah, I figured you would. Here was his take. I mean, just cue up the Grifka soundbite from any other podcast we've done. He said, yeah, I'm fired up. It's hard to get a good player. We got a good football player. Yeah, and you gave up 2 firsts, a third, and your starting safety to go get one. What a joke. That's a Grifka take if I ever heard one. Oh, congratulations. You got a good football player, and you gave up about 3 times too much for him. And you're going to have to pay him. And if you don't pay him,
they're getting a known commodity against prospects. And prospects are suspect until they do anything. So you could have all the draft picks in the world, first rounders. I mean, we've seen first rounders bust out, not do anything. Just turn out to be, run-of-the-mill guys. You're getting a dog. How could you not want this dog on your team, man?
This is so Grifka.
So you gave him a few draft picks to get a dog. Come on.
Grifka, go buy yourself a Seattle Seahawks hoodie at the local store. Go down to MC Sports or whatever, Dunham's, wherever you still get some of your merch, because I'm never making this move. I love Jamal Adams as a player. There's no way I'm giving up anything like this. Known commodity versus draft picks. Okay, yeah, that you use that tired argument all the time. Go tell me that tired argument when your 3 draft picks plus the guy you got end up being so much more worth it, so much more fiscally responsible, and so much better than the one football player you got, that if you're going to keep him for the next 4 or 5 years, yeah, go ahead and pay a safety $20 million. Tell me how that works out for you.
but still, they're going for it, man. That's all that matters. They're paying for the known commodity. Like you said, I mean, you're comparing this to like fiscal responsibility. Okay, so the Seattle Seahawks are buying some stock, of Apple, as opposed to what they traded away some startup stuff that might be penny stocks that, hey, yeah, they could boom, or they could just be sitting there at a penny, worth nothing. However much later, they're getting the known commodity, trading it for stuff that could turn out to be just piles of garbage. So no problem with this trade at all. Nice job, Seattle. Way to go for it. Maybe somebody should tell, the Detroit Lions spend some of their $30 million they got sitting in the bank to go get somebody. So, but okay.
Everybody out there, I just got to say this to Grifka.
I pity myself that I got to be with these fools.
This is the Grifka take I was hoping for, so we could battle it out. If you want to go and get Grifka's takes on all other things GM related, you can find him at GrifkaDKC on Twitter. Isn't that right, Grifka?
That and I don't know, somebody with SF Hemp has been putting out some good tweets, and I believe she runs the Lions now. So.
Yeah, that was she's the only other person other than you and John Schneider and Pete Carroll that would think something like this was good business. So Lions, they don't do this. They're smart. Bob Quinn has held his draft picks every year. Yes, would we love a player like Jamal Adams? Yes. Do we want to pay a safety that doesn't go get the football like $15 to $20 million over a 4 or 5 year deal? I don't. I know you just think it's going to take us to the promised land, which it's not. And then all those draft picks that you think don't turn out because they're not Hall of Famers year one are cost controlled for 4 or 5 years and could be better and could be good players when you take an accumulation. So this thing just made my head blow up, as people could tell, but I wanted to bring it up because I think it's the ultimate test of team building. Some of these teams think they can just say they're going all in, or they're getting a good football player, or proven commodities. There's still a value, and the value was way off on this trade, in my opinion. I also think that it may work out in the very short term, but I think this is going to be something that probably turns the Jets franchise around, and I'd love the Lions to do this. Like, take one of our good players, and able to flip them for that type of ransom. I saw some people saying, well, oh, great, we only got like a third and a fifth for Darius Slay. Like, yeah, I mean, ideally we would have got a first-round pick for Slay, but we couldn't make that happen, or Bob Quinn couldn't make that happen. But, I mean, gosh, this was that deal where you just don't hang up the phone. You're almost like, huh? What was that? Did I hear you at 2 first, a third, your safety for a guy that doesn't even want to be here? Oh yeah, we'll do that. We'll make that happen right now. Send that into the commissioner. I think that's probably how the discussion went. So hopefully Bob Quinn can pull that one of these days, or can, gosh, I can't wait till these draft picks pan out, Grifka, and then you quit calling prospects and they're your favorite player on the team. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. I don't know. I still like the trade, and I mean, if they pan out for the Jets, great. But I still think Seattle made a nice move there.
Grifka, we got to take our break, take our commercial, and come back, play some dis or dat. But can we just rewind this whole argument? And I want you to use one of your gimmick lines. I'll tell you if you say the wrong one, but let me rewind this argument, ask you this question again, and see if you can nail it. Hey, Grifka, what do you think about this trade, Jamal Adams to the Seattle Seahawks? Like, well, I'm sure you got amazing thoughts on this, right?
Of course, I always have amazing takes on this.
No, Grifka, that's when you're supposed to say, I'm not quite for sure, so you don't sound like a buffoon by saying you love this trade.
Not quite for sure if Jamal Adams will pan out in Seattle. I mean, I know, the Jets are generally a pretty good defense, but,
Grifka,
so Seattle, but still, I mean, they did give up a lot, and it might not work, but so I'm not quite for sure on that.
And Grifka, when you're not quite for sure, what's your normal game plan? Probably wait 3-4 years, see if he's an all-pro, say I told you so, and if he sucks, say, see, I knew that trade wouldn't work out. Isn't that probably what would happen when you're not quite for sure and you want to wait it out?
The best part about the way my crystal ball works is that it's often fluid. So, that's the way it works. Okay.
All right. Perfect. Well, I can see in our future that we got to take a break for our sponsors. We'll come back and play some dis or dat. The people want to hear this. This is going to be bubble players. This is going to be roster. Who would you take? This is going to be who does Grifka hate more? We're going to have some fun after the break. So everybody, we'll be right back. Detroit Koolaid drinkers, we're back from the break. Thank you so much for listening to our sponsors. Please check out Anchor Podcast, Spotify, any other sponsors you hear on this great network, the Anchor Podcast that's been helping us out since we started the show here. And Grifka, I got some names, I got some battles, I got some things I want to throw at you. We'll kind of let you break these down, and then I'm sure I will have some retorts, as you would say, once you're done with your, amazing analysis. You ready to do this?
Yeah, of course. I know the people are waiting for it.
Grifka, this is Dis or Dat, and the first one I got for you. I know we talked about some of this here in the off season, but we might as well get to it as we're getting to camp, and this is going to be on a lot of people's minds, and the people cannot wait to hear which one you would select. So, Dis or Dat, Huntley or your boy, Ty Johnson? Oh, baby.
This is easy. This one's easy. Ty Johnson. Come on, I saw the guy dragging a Jeep in shoulder pads and a football helmet. Come on, man. Got to be Ty Johnson.
Grifka, we know you love Ty Johnson. You called him a number 2 running back last year when we were talking about him. But you always rag on me like that I hang on too long or keep telling people are good. This guy's shown nothing in the league. Like, the more I read up and the more you look at Jason Huntley, dude's a little athlete with crazy speed, man. I think this guy could be somewhat special under the radar. I've come around big time on him, which I often do. Give me Huntley here. I mean, Ty Johnson, you could be on the roster, but I'm trying to get the ball in Huntley's hands, I think.
Oh, no, man. Once Huntley, he shows me he can, pull a Jeep with shoulder pads and a helmet. But until that happens, it's going to be Ty Johnson. That's leg drive right there, man.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I'd like to see it on the field from Ty Johnson before you get all caught up in your workout videos. I know Grifka's just perusing Instagram and Twitter and Snapface and, Insta chat or, all those Belichick things you like to do. I know you're just a monster on social media. Grifka, where can they find you on social media just in case they wanted to, check out all these amazing things you're seeing about Ty Johnson and his car pushing?
Sure. You can find me at Grifka DKC. That's at GRIFKA DKC. Or feel free to call the line. We talk about 989-272, Kevin Smith, Herman Moore. But please text, call. I would love to hear people's takes on this.
And here's a quick plug for the hotline, the DKC call-in line. Like, we all know we're going to be sitting at home watching these ball games this year. You're not going to be out at your tailgates, at the bars, at the game. So I want this hotline lit up, Grifka, during this season. I want people calling mid-game, leaving like a 3-minute rant. I want people, the minute you have a horrible take on this show, to call up so I can play it the next episode and say, Grifka, here's what Joe in Sheboygan had to say about your take last week. And he just drops a bomb on you. I want this to happen. We need people to call in. We got to promote it more. And if you actually want to talk real football, or you want to have somebody that will, I don't know, have an interesting take and maybe get back to you, you can find me at Derek Okrie on Twitter. That's DEREK OKRIE. So please hit us up there. We love having fun with the fans. Grifka, we got to get back to Dis or Dat. The next one, again, I'm sure is one of your favorites. Jamal Agnew, who I think is just a wasted roster spot at this point. Everyone's trying to tell me he's a receiver. Versus Geronimo Allison. Who are you taking between those two if it's like a 5th, 6th type receiver on this roster?
I have to agree with your take on Jamal Agnew there. I think he really was that flash in the pan as rookie. He was an all-pro, kick returner, but I don't want to say, teams figured him out, because as you've often said that teams like the kick return team and punt return, it's nice when it happens, but you don't see too many kickoff returns or long returns. It just doesn't happen. It seems like teams have now learned how to defense that. So I would go with Geronimo Allison on this one. It seems like he has a little more upside. I mean, he's always been a receiver. He's not trying to move a position. I mean, he did play with, Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, and he had a little trouble staying on the field. But I would go with Geronimo Allison on this.
Grifka, that's not what I say about special teams. What I say about special teams is my gimmick about how they're so important and they're 33.3% of the game. When if you watch NFL football, Every ball goes through the end zone for the most part these days. There's a very rare kick return, punt return, anything exciting because they move the kick up. They have all these new rules where you can't even – it's almost a wasted play at this point. So Jamal Agnew, for his one kick return every year and the 3 that he drops, yeah, I don't want to have him out there running receiver. You want to run a gadget play here or there? Okay, I wouldn't mind it, but I probably don't have a roster spot for you. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to agree with you. And if I got to pick between these two bums, I'm probably going with Geronimo Allison because I've had enough of Jamal Agnew's butter stick hands. And I feel like the fact that they just think he's going to snap into some amazing receiver is just, I mean, it's absolutely just ridiculousness. I mean, the guy's never played it yet in one offseason with no workouts, no nothing. He's going to turn into this glorious receiver? Yeah, I don't think so. You know, if he makes the roster and makes a couple gadget plays, I'll be happy, but that's all this guy's going to do. Let's keep it moving, Griff. I got plenty of these. The next one, we're moving to the defensive side of the ball. This or that, Reggie Ragland or Jalen Reeves-Maybin as a backup linebacker. You got to think special teams. You got to think all 3 phases of the football. Who's going to make this squad, or who you taking?
Gosh. Who I would take is Maven, but I think Ragland's going to make the squad simply because they brought him in, and he seems to be the linebacker type that Matt Pat likes. But I still think Maven's a lot more versatile. I mean, I still like his speed, and I like him on special teams. And Ragland just seems to be another one of those totem pole linebackers that Matt Pat likes. But I like Maven. That's the guy I would take.
Grifka, I mean, basically we've agreed 50% of the time, but this time I got to give you this. You're wrong, as you often are on the show on this one. Jalen Reeves-Maybin, he's had his time here. Okay, you're great on special teams. Grifka, did you just hear my take again about special teams? They're important, but they're not that important. So to me, I mean, he's had his time. He's hurt a lot. He never gets to play on defense. Reggie Ragland is a former first-round pick. He played at Alabama. I mean, this guy has pedigree. He's won a Super Bowl. I had an interesting take from Eric Schlitt on his podcast. He's talking about everybody thinks Ragland is a backup middle. He said, Kansas City used him as an outside linebacker to be able to help in the run game and do some different things, and he played a lot better in those roles. So, yeah, I wouldn't mind having him there, and if you really need to move him to the middle, that gives me much more value than just – I mean, I can keep some of these other guys we're about to talk about that can help me run down on kicks and whatnot and get by, but I think Ragland's the better value when you're talking about team building in this scenario.
See, gosh. I mean, team building, yeah, he's been there before, but he's just another one of the guys, so go with somebody who can do a little more. I mean –
But like Reeves-Maybin, who's played 4 or 5 defensive snaps the last couple years and then just runs down on kicks? That's who you want to do more?
Well, better than, another totem pole around there that other guys are just going to run around and he can't defend anybody.
Coming from the guy that in that draft was probably banging the table for Reggie Ragland to come to Detroit, now you can't stand the guy. Okay, I see you working, Grifka. We got plenty more of these. Let's just keep it going so we don't get in some big 10-minute dust up. Grifka, your next dis or dat. Do you want McCray or do you want Dat, which is Miles Killebrew, ya boy?
You just said it, man. It's my boy, Miles Killebrew.
Grifka,
that's my guy.
Are you doing curls?
My favorite memory of him is when we were down at training camp and he signed your friend's football. And he signed it so small you could barely read it, and your friend just kind of stood there and looked at the football, what are you doing?
Grifka, I just want to know if you're at the gym doing Miles Killebrew curls while you're doing your running on the treadmill or whatever the hell you do.
No, I don't work out like that, man. I'm not
You're not slanging and banging over there with the heavy plates like Miles.
No, man, I'm not that guy. I get up and you do it was like a deadlift and you drop it and scream and you kick the bar. I mean, it's just that never made any sense to me. I know guys are trying to look cool doing okay, congratulations, you just gave yourself a hernia, but nothing against guys who lift. I lift, but I lift for different reasons. I'm not trying to add a whole lot of bulk, and I realize guys are. I know there's plenty of power lifters out there. Cool, congratulations, but I'm not that guy that not looking to drop the weights, and when I finish off and yell out, give out some scream like I'm about to attack a hill or something like that.
All right, well, we just got the Grifka workout plan. I'm sure everybody was on bated breath for that. But, Miles Killebrew's a beast, but I think this McCray kid, I think he's got the chance to make it as a special teamer. We got the new special teams coach from Cincinnati. McCray was a baller in Cincinnati on special teams. He's also somewhat a cornerback, so if I'm going to keep a guy that is great on special teams, I need that corner depth, because why, Grifka? You can never have too many corners. We all know this. We say this all the time. So that's the way I'm going. I'm done with Killebrew too. Hey, you're a good guy. You've been here a while. I can't be keeping, you, Reeves Maben, McCray, D Version, CJ Moore. I can't keep 7 special teams only type players. So I got to say goodbye to Miles and take my boy McCray here. New blood, knows the new special team system. That's the way I'm going. So of course we differ once again. Grifka, this next one really interests me. I'm going to catch you totally off guard here, and I can't wait to hear what you're thinking. So this is my dis or dat. This is going to shock the people. Don Muhlbach, or do I even need to say the or are you taking the mule?
Oh, I guess it depends, but I'm really leaning towards, Don Muhlbach right now.
Wordle, Grifka, he's the best snapper, I heard, the best long snapper out there. He's got all these accolades. This guy's young. I think I'm ready to turn the page on Don Muhlbach. I mean, what's the guy going to snap till he's 50 years old? Like, I mean, they tried it a couple years ago. It was a few years too early. It might be time now to give this Wordle kid his chance. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure Prater and those guys wouldn't like it, but we got rid of the other bum back there kicking punts. So maybe it's time to go with Wordle. I'm just saying.
Sorry, Wordle. Don Muhlbach. That guy's going to be out there. I don't care if you have to take him out there on a stretcher and just kind of put him in a 3-point position where he's holding on the ball, because that guy's going to be snapping, you're right up until his funeral. That's all that matters. It's gonna have to be on a Sunday. It's like, hey, I'm gonna be late. Why? I got to snap in the game, but it's your funeral. I know. But that's what he's gonna be doing. That he's the man. It doesn't matter. He's gonna be 80 years old out there snapping the football.
Yeah, I thought that might be your take. So again, we differ. Next one, Nick Bawden, fullback, who's disappointed not only me but plenty of others out there when he's been on this Detroit Lions teams, injuries and whatnot. Or the undrafted rookie that your favorite group, Pro Football Focus, had as I think their top tight end in the NFL draft this past year, Hunter Bryant, the tight end there. You keeping the fullback and giving it another go, or do you think we can give this undrafted tight end a roll because we know you love tight ends well?
This one's tough, but gosh, I think I would go with the tight end on this one. I mean, simply because fullback now in today's game, it's almost kind of like a specialty position. It's not like the old days, even it was starting in the 80s where fullbacks were starting to get, kind of filtered out of the game. And I know still after that, there were still some fullbacks that came in the league, like Tommy Vardell and stuff like that. There were, Zach Crockett was around for the Raiders, and he was the goal line. He would have 8 touchdowns every year, and each the longest one would be 3 yards. So, I realize it's just today's game. You really don't need it. So give it to tight end. I mean, that guy may be able to develop into an H-back, could surprise somebody, you give the guy a year on the practice squad, or maybe it's one of those guys that you got to hide on the, because if a lot of teams like him, you got to hide him on the team, kind of like they did with Bo Beshwal last year, even though Beshwal might not make the team this year. You could do that with him, and I would keep that guy. I would keep the tight end instead of Nick Bawden.
Grifka, can you do me a favor here on the show?
Sure.
Can you do some homework in the next week or two on Hunter Bryant and go look this guy up? I mean, he's not an H-back, Grifka. This guy's like a flex move tight end. The guy catch the football. He's not going to block anyone. You got to go do your homework on this kid because, we know you love TJ Hawkinson. We know the outlaw Jesse James is your favorite player in the game, making $7-8 million, a piece of garbage. But, Hunter Bryant could be good, but I'm torn on this one because I want Hunter Bryant on the team if I can find a spot for him. But Nick Bawden, to me, is a guy that he was hurt. Now he's coming back. Now they've had the same system. Now they have some running backs that have some wiggle. Like, if Swift and Carrion prefer a fullback, I think I'd like to keep Bawden for one more year and see if he can give us that smash mouth that we hoped when we took him. So, gosh, I want to keep both these guys. Is that allowed?
Sure, but then you got to get rid of your boy, McCray. How's that sound?
Oh, man, that's tough. A special teamer between a fullback and a tight end. That's a death match if I ever heard of one. Grifka, let's talk about this next one. You just soiled this guy's name. His name is Benchwowel, Grifka, and he's a big, nasty player from Wisconsin. We got him undrafted as well. This is a guy I liked from the draft process. I actually took him in my picks where I actually make the pick for the Lions. He did hang around the roster. We're not sure what he has at an optimal level. Do you want this guy that might have upside? He's young. They've groomed him. He's a possible player. Or would you rather have ya boy, Kenny Wiggins, who I know you love?
Oh, gosh, I'm taking Bo Benchwell on that one. I mean, see you later, Kenny Wiggins. I mean, I realize you're one of those guys that's been around the block. You know how to be a pro. You are what you are right now. I mean, gosh, you're never going to be, you're never going to be Bill Fralick, who's not even a Hall of Famer, but was a really good guard. One of my favorite guards when I was a kid, for the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, he was good. I mean, he make the Pro Bowl here and there, but I mean, he's not a Hall of Famer. But Kenny Wiggins, you are what you are. You're never going to be that. I mean, you're there. You're kind of reliable, and you have limitations. So why don't you bring in Bo Benchwell, guy who's out of a good program? One of those road grading programs that that produces good running backs because they have really good offensive lines as well. So yeah, I mean that's what the Lions are trying to go for. I realize they drafted a couple more guards, but still, that would be the guy. Bo Benchwell would be the guy I would keep.
Grifka, I'm a guy that still enjoys fantasy football. I know you became old man, get off my lawn years ago where you don't have time for it. You don't enjoy it, even though it's football and it's actually creating your team. So you actually have to back up half this garbage you say on the show when you play fantasy by taking people that are actually good. But there's a podcast I listen to called The Fantasy Footballers. And one of their gimmicks they do on that show is the voice of public opinion, Grifka. And it goes something like this. So this is my voice of public opinion versus your hating on Kenny Wiggins. But Grifka, Kenny Wiggins is a veteran. He played a bunch of snaps. We might need him for good play if these rookies aren't ready. I think we should keep Kenny Wiggins. What do you think of that voice of public opinion that wants to back up Kenny Wiggins all the time when we all know he's a freaking stationary trash can that's been kicked around by all these teams and we're done with this guy? Okay, you gave us a couple good years of service. We've drafted people. We're done with you. This is obviously Benchwell, but I don't even know what he can give us. I mean, I can't believe how many people back up Kenny Wiggins and act like, oh, he might start. Really? He's going to start for us? No, thank you. Not in this lifetime.
No, thank you. That's great. Get out of here.
So,
kick rocks. And by the way, your voice of reason sounded maybe like a Martha Ford when she was 65. So just want to let you know that.
Martha Ford? Grifka, I actually got a little message from Martha this week to you. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, I mean, I must have missed it on the hotline, the 989-272-3484.
Yeah, let me play it for you real quick. It went something like this. Hey, Waffle Maker. I haven't had my favorite memory yet, because I want to win the Lombardi Trophy. Yay! Oh, wait, I quit. All right, talk to you later. Bye.
Quitter.
And if you need to find her, she's at the Sunglass Hut. Grifka, last couple here. This one you're going to love as well because you ragged on this a couple podcasts ago when you did one of your infamously incredible, tremendous, entertaining solo shows where you tried to retort me about this guy. I don't know. You've probably heard of him. His name is Jay Sean Cornell. He's a defensive end. He's a defensive tackle. He was the number one high school player. We took him in the 7th round. He's a steal. We got into a 25-minute argument that he's not the 3rd best or 4th best overall tackle by PFF. He was graded as such in one category. Grifka, are you keeping Jay Sean? Or do you want strong? I forget his first name, but Strong or
It's
Jay Sean.
Kevin Strong.
Kevin Strong. There you go.
I know this might surprise you, but I'm going to keep Kevin Strong just because I don't like Jay Sean. Mister didn't do anything at Ohio State. Get out of here. Mister, I was like one of the best high school players in the country. Went to Ohio State and disappeared on one of the most dominant defensive lines. You weren't even double teamed all the time because everybody else on that defensive line was double teamed, and you still didn't do anything. So what makes you think you're going to come into pros and do anything? So yeah, I'll keep Kevin Strong, who actually played not that bad last year when there were so many injuries. So yeah, give me Kevin Strong.
Okay, Grifka, I'm going to do it 2 times in one show. I got a quick follow-up on that. Grifka, I know you tried to come strong with that take, but I want to tell you that it wasn't strong, and he said he wasn't that bad. You know what he wasn't? He's
not that great either.
He's not that great. Is right.
He's not that great either.
So I'm going with the upside, the young player. Grifka, tell me if you've heard this before. He's cheap. Jay Sean Cornell. I mean, I think this guy has sneaky upside. I could see him playing on this defensive line. Not a ton this year, but by year 2 or year 3, this might be one of those sneaky picks where you're saying, man, this guy's a little, Deshaun Hand type on the interior with some power and some rush. So give me Jay Sean over Kevin Strong. All right, last couple. We'll do these quick. This one, again, is going to be a personal favorite of yours. Darryl Roberts, the veteran cornerback that we got from the Jets, or your boy, the windsock, Mike Ford. I think it's Mike Ford Jr. What do you think? Is there anything to think about? You call the guy the windsock. You going to keep the windsock?
Yes, I want to keep the windsock just because I want to keep using that term, the windsock.
Oh, people. You see what I deal with every week? Grifka's picking people in the draft because he likes their name. I don't know if your name's Rocky Sin. He's keeping he's making you a first-round pick. Now he's keeping people because he likes the nickname he gave him. Grifka, I'm trying to build a winner. I'm trying to go to the Super Bowl. Give me Darryl Roberts, the backup vet that actually started for the Jets, which I don't know if that's a compliment or a straight diss, but he did start at corner for the Jets, and now he's on the Lions. So I'd rather have neither, but if I got to pick a diss or that, give me Roberts over your boy Mike Ford, who's just always 3 steps behind in coverage.
I'll take the windsock because I like to watch him run after people and go like, gosh, look how bad this guy. But he looks like a windsock outside a car dealership. Makes me want to go buy like a new Chevy or Jeep or something like that. But not a Ford. Just to let you guys know.
Last one, Grifka, and this is my personal favorite. So this is a multi-layered this or that. See, you've got to not only keep this player on the team, whoever you select, but this needs to be a captain on your team. This might be a guy that you extend and pay on the Detroit Lions. So first of all, I mean, we got to go to the linebacker position. I mean, give me Jared Davis once again, Grifka. Give me your guy on the edge. I mean, just a stalwart, a guy that you would never talk junk to at training camp, a guy that would choke slam you right over the barricade, and his name's Taylor Decker. We've already seen your love for the outlaw, and let's throw Mike Ford in there, and let's throw, who else do you hate? Let's throw Odell Beckham in there, just a non-Lions player. And yeah, I don't know, we'll get this guy in. He's a quarterback. You love him. I mean, you might want to keep him as well. His name is Baker Mayfield, Grifka. If you gotta keep those guys, make him a captain, just a centerpiece of your team. I mean, I know it's a tough decision for you. What's it gonna be?
Which one of those guys I'm keeping, or which one am I getting rid of?
Who are you keeping out of that group? Because you're gonna make him like a integral part of your squad.
God, out of Taylor Decker, Jared Davis, Mike Ford, Odell, and Baker.
Some of your favorites. I mean, we could throw Saquon in there. We could throw some of your other faves that you always talk about on the show. I mean,
I'd rather take Stanquan. But gosh, if I'm going to take one of those guys, gosh, I hate them all.
You got to put a C on his chest, Griffey. You might have to pay this guy big money. I mean, this is no like minor investment that you're getting rid of anytime soon.
God, if that's the case, I guess I'll go with Taylor Decker. I mean, he's the least of all the. It's got to be the least of all the evils, I guess. I'd rather take him than some overrated quarterback, some way overrated wide receiver is not even the best wide receiver on his team. A windsock and a guy who like rather not make a tackle.
Everybody, I have done it. I have finally pulled back the curtain. Grifka loves Taylor Decker. He would make him a centerpiece of his team, a captain. He would pay the man the money he's worth. I mean, we knew this was your take all along. All I had to do was ask it the right way. Grifka, I'm super excited. So excited you said that I feel I should say this before we get up out of here.
Wow.
That was amazing. Grifka, the people just want to know one more thing, and that's this. Do you have anything else for the people?
Nope.
People, I have to give Grifka the chance. I mean, there may be a day where he has just the most profound thing ever, but it hasn't happened yet. We'll see. Maybe one day he'll have something. Not today, not this week. Thank you so much for listening. Everybody check us Friday right here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast, where we talk all things Lions. We try to make you laugh. We have fun on the show, and we'll probably have some big news, maybe some Lions opt-outs, maybe some craziness going on with COVID, or maybe football, which is always fun to talk about too. So we'll be back here Friday right here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast. Take care, everybody. We're out.
Pack the bag, start the plane. This game is over. It is over. What a comeback by the Lions.
Drink it in, man.